Plaintiff Stephanie Barini started dating the defendant after meeting in Narcotics Anonymous. Stephanie claims the defendant disappeared and relapsed on crack cocaine after learning she was pregnant. And he's disappeared 20 or 30 more times during the relationship. Stephanie's suing her ex today for the value of a car and emotional distress. Defendant Keith Thomas admits that he was addicted to alcohol and as a result completed a 30-day inpatient rehab program. But he insists he has never used crack. Keith's countersuing for rent, a late fee, and an electric bill.
Start with you.
Okay, Your Honor. As painful and embarrassed I am to be here telling you my story, I met the defendant at a Narcotics Anonymous meeting. I was recovering from heroin, and he was recovering from crack cocaine. When I first met him, he was very inspirational. He was carrying the word of God. He was there for me. He helped me get a job. I quickly fell in love with him. We moved in together, and 3 months into the relationship, I found out I was pregnant. I sent him a message of the pregnancy test, and I never received a response. He didn't come home that night, and I didn't see him probably for another week after that. When he finally came home, he told me he had used, he was sorry, he wanted our family to stay together, and he was going to get help.
Okay. How long had he been in recovery?
I don't know. From my understanding, like 9 years, but
okay.
That's what he would share. I don't really know.
All right.
I think he was in and out. I was told that he was, when I first started hanging out with him, I was warned by a lot of people that he was a chronic relapser, but I wanted to give him the benefit of the doubt. His action was showing me that he was.
Did you know whether he'd ever had inpatient treatment?
I think he did, yeah.
Okay. And what happened from there throughout your relationship? How was it otherwise?
It was fine. We moved back to Chicago. A couple weeks later, he went on another binge.
Wasn't that fine then?
No.
A couple of weeks later?
I didn't see him until the day I gave birth to our son. And it was an accident. I gave birth. He called me to see where I was. He wanted to come back home, and I told him I was in the hospital. I had the baby already. I forgave him again. I let him come back home with me. And from then on, it's just been a roller coaster. He would stay clean for a couple of months. He would leave. Anytime he got a paycheck, he would leave for a week or two, come home, try to sober up. I would take care of him, feed him, and...
How many times would you estimate that occurred?
Honestly, over 20, 30.
And how many
40.
times did he go into inpatient treatment?
A lot. I think every time he would go into treatment, get clean, and come back out.
So would you say 5, 10?
Probably more than that.
Inpatient?
Yeah.
A month at a time? 6 months?
A couple days, he would detox like 7 days and
That's
come
it?
out. Yeah.
Oh, well, that's not treatment. Now, I'll let you give me some background on your addiction, if you admit to having one.
Yes, Judge Mathis, the addiction part was only occurred when we first had my son. Ever since then, I've been attending Alcoholics Anonymous meetings, not crack cocaine. I got labeled with the crack cocaine piece by stereotype of me me sharing my story with Stephanie coming from the Inglewood.
Did you mention the word crack?
The crack had never ever came up.
Your woman says that you made disappearing acts for days at a time.
Yes.
Over 20 times. Is that true, or is she making it up?
She's making it.
She's making it up?
She's making it up, Judge Mathis.
Did you ever go into inpatient treatment?
Yes, I did, Judge Mathis.
For what?
For alcoholism.
How many times?
Once.
How long did you stay?
I stayed 30 days.
So all the other stuff, she's hallucinating.
No, I didn't say she was.
Well, she gotta be. She gotta be. Because she seems like she really believes it. Are you willing to take a drug test today?
Yes, I'm willing to take a drug test
And
today.
if you take one, are you willing to go to inpatient treatment?
And yes, I am willing to.
All right, and let me just tell you, I've had several over the years, perhaps over a dozen, who stand right there just like you do. And I say, are you willing to take a test and then go to treatment? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. End of the show, either they run out or they take the test. I don't know how that happened. You going to treatment, sir? No, because that's just this one time. Or they'll even say, well, can I go get my things, gather my clothes, and I'll call you. I'll call your staff, judge. You sure you're going to call? Oh, yeah. Never hear from them again. So I hope you're not going to do me like that. You're going to take the test. It's going to be clean. And then we're going to bring her back and get her some medicine.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Man, why are you suing him today? For the car and the emotional distress. What happened?
On August of this year, he came back from one of his binges. At this point, I was done with him. I wanted him to leave our home. And I tried to push him out the house, and he punched me in the nose in front of my son. Then, in September of this year, he wanted to use my car to go to the gas station. He never came back. I reported the car stolen. I didn't see him for over a month. The car got impounded. I didn't have the money to get it out. Then I received a letter that on October 13th, they were going to sell it.
And how much do you want for your car?
I want $2,900, what I paid for it.
Sir?
No, I never put my hands on
And
Stephanie.
you never heard of this allegation?
Yes, I did, Judge Mathis.
Right.
I heard of it.
How did it come up?
It came up because the police officers were called to our house over 15 times over the period of time.
Let's talk about August.
August that day, the police officers were called out to our house because Stephanie was disruptive, and they asked her to leave, and they made her removed from the house. The whole incident had occurred because Stephanie and her mother, they wanted control of my kids.
Stop lying.
Say what?
Stephanie and her mama wanted control of my kids. They had called and came over, and the police.
Why they want control of your kids?
Because they didn't want them to be around their dad.
Why?
Because they figured they called me some words that I think that are inappropriate to say in the courtroom. It was just the mother. It wasn't Stephanie.
Why didn't they want you around their kids? What did they allege about
I
you?
was disrespectful towards them.
Towards your kids?
No, towards her parents.
Doing what?
Just as far as just I didn't fit the picture.
Why?
Judge
What'd they
Mathis.
say?
They said a whole lot. They said a whole lot of things about me.
What picture didn't you fit?
I think that they just thought that for the simple fact I wouldn't be as, I talk too much. I talk too much.
Got it.
I would say things that being 42, her mama being 46, I would say what I.
Ma'am, they remove you from the house?
No, here's the police report. They told him to leave.
Let's see the police
Go
report.
ahead.
And I thought you were better than this.
I am, Judge.
Now I'm talking about your stories.
Go ahead.
On her arrival, spoke with Barini, who stated her child's father, Thomas, had punched her in the face. Thomas had left prior to the arrival of the police, but soon returned. Thomas states he was arguing with Barini when Barini pushed him. Thomas claims to have pushed Barini back before leaving the apartment. At this point, Barini reported that she did in fact push Thomas first. Barini signed a complaint refusal for a domestic battery, and Thomas voluntarily left the apartment so both parties could calm down. You said they removed her, sir.
Nope.
They didn't say they removed her. They did say she pushed you first. Who knows why, all this mess. But you told me they removed her. What do you have to say about the car, sir?
The car got impounded because of tickets, Judge Mathis. I never stopped. Stephanie went down to Blue Island Police Department. We went into the store when we came back out.
Who?
Me and the guy from the Alcoholics Anonymous meeting, Judge Mathis.
Okay. You all went into the store?
We went into the store to purchase the food items. When we came back out of the store, Harvey tow truck company had the truck lifted and they wouldn't put it down.
And how do you know it's for tickets?
How do I know?
Yes. How do you know they towed it for tickets?
How do I know it told it?
Yes. You see when they do that? You see when you keep saying that over and over and over? That's when you're trying to think of a lie. How do you know? What evidence?
Because we called down to the police station, Judge Mathis.
And they told you that?
And they called.
Do you have any evidence? Did they give you something?
No, because the car wasn't in my name. The tickets were in
All
Stephanie
right, did they
Barini's
give
name.
you something?
No, there was no tickets.
We couldn't get it out the pound because she had as numerous tickets.
All right, don't believe a word you say, sir. I think you're still addicted to crack. And I'm not going to even badger you into help or humiliate you into help as I do a lot of people who just don't want help and come in here with a bunch of lies. You're the type that I just say, I'm through with. I just throw my hands up and say, I'm through with you, man. I don't know what else to tell you until you're ready for treatment. Feel free to call us, even if you don't want to do it today, all right? Feel free to call here and say that you want us to help you get treatment. And we will. In the meantime, I'll grant your judgment.
Thank you.
And
Can I say
dismiss
one
you.
more thing?
Yes, ma'am.
This is not about us. At the end of the day, we have 2 kids, and my kids love him. And when he's clean, he's a good person. Like I said, I wouldn't be clean today if it wasn't for him, God using him to be inspirational to me. So I want him to get help. I want him. I've never tried to hold my kids against him, but he needs help. You need to be happy. You need to move on. Leave the drugs alone. Whatever's happened in your past, leave it in your past.
And he's not ready for that yet, so you have to wait until he's ready. God bless him. I know plenty of people who've had long-term habits, crack habits, and they ultimately did overcome them. One I know went to rehab 6 times. Wow. Another one I know, he was in NA at least 6 years, then relapsed, then went back, relapsed again, went to detox. I've seen this movie over and over and over. But the good news is, the ones I'm referring to, ultimately they changed. Good luck to you, sir. Let us know if and when you want some help. Judgment for the plaintiff, your claim is dismissed. Have a good day.
I wish him the best. I want him to be clean so he can be there for his family, and stop harassing me, leave me alone. I'm happy in my life. Just move on and be happy in your own life.
I don't got nothing to say.